Have you ever wondered why you can work your whole life and still never reach financial freedom? No matter how hard you try, how well you study, or how carefully you save, it always feels like something invisible keeps you from getting ahead. The truth is, it's not your fault. This world was never designed to make everyone rich. It was designed to keep society running stable, predictable, and controllable. And to do that, the system needs a working-class people who work, who spend, who dream of climbing higher, yet never quite reach the top. That's how the machine stays balanced. If everyone were free, no one would take the jobs that keep the world turning. So the system must give you just enough hope to keep you moving, but not enough freedom to escape. The loop of motivation. We're taught from a young age, if you study hard, work hard, and save money, you'll live a good life. You'll have a home, a car, a family, and one day, peace of mind. But in reality, those goals keep moving further away. Once you achieve one milestone, a new standard appears. Your house isn't big enough. Your car isn't new enough. Your job title isn't impressive enough. You keep running, always just a few steps behind. The system depends on that. A population that's always chasing, always too busy to stop and question why. Because if you ever stop to think, you might realize that the game itself was never fair. The pyramid of power. Every society has its pyramid. At the top, those who control the flow of money, data, laws, and influence. In the middle, the professionals and workers who keep the engine running. At the bottom, the masses who produce, consume, and never have time to ask questions. In medieval times, landowners ruled by owning the soil. During the industrial age, factory owners ruled by owning machines. Today, the new elite controls something even more powerful: information, algorithms, and your attention. The tools have changed, but the structure remains. The chains are no longer made of iron, they're made of incentives, definitions, and dreams. The invisible control. You no longer need to be forced to obey. You just need to be told what success looks like and you'll chase it willingly. The system rewards what it wants and shames what it doesn't. You're respected if you're wealthy, admired if you're productive, ignored if you fall behind. So you work harder not because you're oppressed, but because you want to belong. Mass media, entertainment, and social networks all play their part. They don't order you to behave a certain way, they simply make you want to. That's the brilliance of modern control, when the prisoner truly believes the cage is freedom, the crowd that polices itself. The cleverest part of this system is that it no longer needs guards. Once enough people believe in the same ideals, they will police each other. No one needs to force you to conform. Likes, views, ratings, and performance metrics will do the job. Those who follow the rules are praised. Those who don't are shamed, canceled, or made invisible. The world has become a prison without walls, where every person is both prisoner and warden. No physical chains are needed anymore, because the real ones are in your mind. The limit of time. Let's do some math. If an average American starts working at 22 and retires at 65, they'll spend roughly 90,000 hours of their life working. Even if you earn $150 a day, that's about $3 million over a lifetime. Sounds like a lot until you subtract housing, taxes, healthcare, food, and debt. What's left isn't freedom, it's survival. Many people work their entire lives, and when retirement finally comes, their biggest achievement is simply that they kept up. They're not lazy. They're just playing a game where effort alone was never enough to win. The comfortable cage. The most dangerous trap isn't poverty, it's comfort. You get a steady job, a predictable paycheck, a 30-year mortgage, health insurance, and a retirement plan. All of it makes you feel safe, protected, cared for. But that's the point. It keeps you inside the wheel. You work to pay the bills, you borrow to buy more, then you work harder to pay the debts you just created. It's a self-sustaining system you're never forced to run. You just can't stop running. When people believe they're stable, they stop taking risks. They stop thinking differently. They stop dreaming. And that's how the system wins, not by crushing rebellion, but by convincing you that rebellion is unnecessary. The way out. Escaping the loop doesn't mean working 12 hours instead of 8. That just burns you out faster. The issue isn't effort, it's position. If you trade your time for money, you're trapped in the same equation no matter how skilled you are. Blue collar or white collar, you're still selling the same thing, your hours. And time is the one resource you'll never get back. The people at the top don't sell their time, they sell value that scales. They sell systems, products, brands, networks, or intellectual property. A street vendor might earn a few cents per coffee. Starbucks sells the same cup for $5. They're not selling coffee. They're selling experience, identity, and automation. They sell thousands of cups while sleeping. That's the difference between working hard and working with structure. Hard work keeps you alive. Structure sets you free. If you want to escape, stop trading time for money. Start building something that can multiply without you. A digital product, an online course, a platform, a service, or even a community. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow. Just start building a system that slowly replaces your labor. Every small step you take toward independence is one less step inside the wheel. The power of awareness. No one is completely free in a complex society, but there are two kinds of people: those who know the rules of the game and those who are played by them. The first group isn't necessarily richer, they're just more awake. They know what drives them: fear, habit, or conditioning. And because they know, they can choose. The second group thinks they're choosing, but every choice they make was already written in the code. This society doesn't maintain a lower class out of cruelty. It does so out of necessity. It needs workers, consumers, dreamers, people who wake up, work, buy, sleep, and repeat. But you don't have to stay there forever. Escaping poverty isn't about making more money than others. It's about understanding where you stand in the system, who wrote the rules, and what game you're really playing. If you didn't write the rules, no matter how fast you run, you're still running in the direction someone else chose. Freedom isn't rebellion, it's awareness. It's seeing the board, understanding the mechanism, and designing your own move. The moment you see the cage, you've already stepped outside it. The beginning of freedom. Society doesn't need everyone to wake up. It just needs enough people to stay busy, afraid, and entertained so the system can keep running. But if you're still listening, it means something in you has begun to question, and that tiny spark of doubt is the start of freedom. No one can rewrite the rules for you, but you can learn to rewrite them for yourself. You don't need to burn it all down. You just need to see clearly, choose consciously, and act deliberately. Because true poverty isn't the lack of money, it's the lack of curiosity. And the moment you start asking why, you've already stood up from the board. You were never meant to win this game, but you can learn how to play it differently. Subscribe and don't miss what comes next.